Daniel's Piety by Ginzberg. No greater contrast to Hiram and the false prophets Ahab and Zedekiah can be imagined than is presented by the character of the pious Daniel. When Nebuchadnezzar offered him divine honors, 109, he refused what Hiram sought to obtain by every means in his power. The Babylonian king felt so ardent an admiration for Daniel that he sent him from the country when the time arrived to worship the idol he had erected in Dura, for he knew very well that Daniel would prefer death in the flames to disregard of the commands of God, and he could not well have cast the man into the fire to whom he had paid divine homage. Moreover, it was the wish of God that Daniel should not pass through the fiery ordeal at the same time as his three friends, in order that their deliverance might not be ascribed to him. 110. In spite of all this, Nebuchadnezzar endeavored to persuade Daniel by gentle means to worship an idol. He had the golden diadem of the high priest inserted in the mouth of an idol, and by reason of the wondrous power that resides in the holy name inscribed on the diadem, the idol gained the ability to speak, and it said the words, "I am thy God." Thus were many seduced to worship the image, but Daniel could not be misled so easily. He secured permission from the king to kiss the idol. Laying his mouth upon the idols, he adjured the diadem in the following words, "I am but flesh and blood, yet at the same time a messenger of God. I therefore admonish thee, take heed that the name of the Holy One, blessed be he, may not be desecrated, and I order thee to follow me." So it happened, when the heathen came with music and song to give honor to the idol, it emitted no sound, but a storm broke loose and overturned it. 111. On still another occasion, Nebuchadnezzar tried to persuade Daniel to worship an idol, this time a dragon that devoured all who approached it, and therefore was adored as a god by the Babylonians. Daniel had straw mixed with nails fed to him, and the dragon ate and perished almost immediately. 112. All this did not prevent Daniel from keeping the welfare of the king in mind continually. Hence it was that, when Nebuchadnezzar was engaged in setting his house in order, he desired to mention Daniel in his will as one of his heirs. But the Jew refused with the words, "Far be it from me to leave the inheritance of my fathers for that of the uncircumcised." 113. Nebuchadnezzar died after having reigned 40 years, as long as King David. The interment of this great king was anything but what one might have expected, and for this reason, during the 7 years spent by Nebuchadnezzar among the beast, his son Evil-Merodach ruled in his stead. Nebuchadnezzar reappeared after his period of penance and incarcerated his son for life. When the death of Nebuchadnezzar actually did occur, Evil-Merodach refused to accept the homage the nobles brought him as the new king, because he feared that his father was not dead, but had only disappeared as once before and would return again. To convince him of the groundlessness of his apprehension, the corpse of Nebuchadnezzar, badly mutilated by his enemies, was dragged through the streets. 116. Shortly afterward occurred the death of Zedekiah, the dethroned king of Judah. His burial took place amid great demonstrations of sympathy and mourning. The elegy over him ran thus, "Alas, that King Zedekiah had to die, he who quaffed the lays which all the generations before him accumulated." 117. Zedekiah reached a good old age, 118, for though it was in his reign that the destruction of Jerusalem took place, yet it was the guilt of the nation, not of the king, that had brought about the catastrophe. 119.